spinny thingy. No. Hi. Normally, you know me as Hugh Hefner from Rock and Roll. Still the same guy, but not under the pseudonym today. Just regular old drummer Eric. Thought I'd share a little video about my drums, some specs here. Recently upgraded my drums, found a good kit. As you know, everybody has a little bit of that money right now. So I dipped into it and bought a new kit. I've been playing the same Pearl Vision kit for about 10 years, so thought it was time for a little change, a little upgrade. Not sure I did that. We'll go into that later. But here's the old kit. It's piled up here, as you see. She's still pretty. She's still playable. She's still great. Sounds amazing. Just wanted more drums. I was going to buy roto toms. I was going to buy a big, fat 18-inch floor tom, but I'm particular about my drum colors and sizes and brands and stuff matching, and at least the wood. So I'm going to give you a little overview of what I play. Let me turn it around and show you. So this pretty thing is my new Mapex. First time playing Mapex. This is a Mapex Mars Kit. Kind of a cool name. Was going to buy a Voyager. I found one online that was a double bass, shiny, little sparkly, kind of like Eric Singer from Kiss kit. It was also a Mapex, but when I got to the store, noticed it had a lot of rust and damage. Glad I didn't buy that kit. This one happened to be in the same spot that I bought my last two previous drum sets, so I thought it was meant to be. I guess we'll start with what all I've done. So when I got it, this snare, it's a 6.5 by 14 versus this is my old backup. I bought this when I was gigging with another band. It's a Pearl. This is a Pearl limited edition. It's a regular 5 by 14. I did happen to put a big larger strand on it, and that number 3 in honor of Peter Kiss being one of my favorite bands. But I've used it now as a side snare, tuned like a piccolo. It's not a piccolo, but I tune it like a piccolo. It's kind of got a higher octave, higher pitch. But this one here, the one that came with the kit, the 6.5, not exactly the standard that I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little bit higher standard drum than it is. I've already kind of warped the hoop by using a lot of rim shots, so I've had to move that a couple of times. And everything on this kit is black, so the backup snare was kind of cool because most everything other than the rods are black on it. When I got it, though, this Mapex here was a really cheap throw. It was kind of like this Pearl throw. It was back and forth throw, but it was plastic instead of metal like this one. So this one's a lot better. But I found this DW throw on Amazon, I believe, and it's a magnetic up and down throw. It's got a nice little spin to it. It's got grippers for your finger, and you could also plug in a tuner to do that. I also put, as you can tell here, a larger actual snare strand on it because I like that really nice crispy sound. So I upgraded my cymbals as well. I usually play a lot of AAs, AAXs, and this time around I wanted to go a little darker, a little higher end. I was able to get on a site called Reverb and exchange pretty much all my cymbals for better ones. Now, a lot of them that I bought were used, some were not, and I didn't realize that. I guess some were in drum stores and were used in store but not used by a lot of people, and when I got them, didn't have a lot of sticking. So I was playing a set of 15-inch AAs, standard, and I've had them for quite a while, so I thought before I crack them, let somebody else play on them. So I marked them down, and I bought an HHX pair. Dude I bought them from was another store, and he didn't package them too well, so when they got to me, they were cracked. The top one was, but luckily the bottom was salvageable, and it's a nice heavy bottom. And then he refunded me the money, and I was able to buy these. These are really nice HHX Just standard 14s, complex. They've got these really nice hammerings with a raw bell on it. They're really crispy and nice, and I was playing with a friend the other day. They cut through pretty well. As for my rod, I used to play an AAX Omni rod. I said Romney in the last video, so I figured, oh, I gotta do this one over because I'm not putting a picture of Mitt Romney up here. This is about symbols, not politics. It was a good cymbal. It was splashy, but I'd played it for a while. Still in good shape, but I thought, I need to try something new. A regular rod, a heavy rod. So this is what I went with. I went with this bad boy here. It's used, it has some sticking on it, but it still sounds great. It's in really great condition. It's got a nice pingy bell to it. Really great rod. It's versatile, it's heavy. It's a HHX Legacy 22 inch. I like big cymbals, and I cannot lie. But yeah, I mean, I play a lot of different things. I'm not brand loyal either. My splashes, I actually just got this one in the mail the other day. It's a Color Sound 900 series. It's just your regular B8 color brown. I think it's B20 though, can't remember. It's 10 inches. I wanted a smaller one to go along with this one that I've had for ages. It's a Peisty as well. Because I'm a big Stuart Copeland fan. Steve Abruzzi's, I think it's Steve. Is it Steve? I can't remember. From Pearl Jam, the original drummer Abruzzi's. He uses a lot of splash cymbals, and there's a lot of drummers that like to use that technique and effect in their drumming. So I thought I'll have two, one high, one low. I've been playing, before we get to the crashes that I have set up on my set, because I've not been able to play them. It is 10 o'clock. And I got home late tonight from work, so I haven't been able to actually play them, so I can't speak to the sound of them. But one that I decided I had sitting forever, this is an AAX. It came unstamped. It was in bad, the color on it was bad. It was in bad shape. Don't know what happened. I don't know if somebody tried a bad cleaner or cleaning technique, but it stripped the Sabian off of it and everything. So thought, you know, it's sitting there, I'm not using it, let's hammer on it. I really wanted a cluster crash, but I didn't want to spend that kind of money for a thin cymbal that I'm just going to wind up breaking. So this one being a little thicker, it's a medium thin. I ended up taking my Dremel and roughing up the bell, kind of, you know, you can't get that raw bell, but you can kind of zip it down, and I did that, and then I hammered a little bit on it, and I put the I don't know if you could see them, they're upside down. They should have been on the other side, but they're the cluster crash, cluster hammers marks on it, and it gives a really great dark sound, as though it was like an ozone or something, or like the ones with the holes, EFX that Zildjian does, without risking breaking it. Because the more holes you have in it, the more risk there is for cracking it. So that was a great one to use, but like I said, it's kind of a thinner cymbal and one that I want to keep around, so I'll get to those in a minute. I will, I promise. But I bought some cheaper cymbals. Spent about $100 or so on two cymbals, where I'm spending about $200 on one, which is why I went the reverb option and traded mine up. I think after I got rid of my rod, my hi-hats, a crash I wasn't using, and another crash I wasn't using, I ended up spending maybe $100, and I think a lot of that was soaked up in shipping to replace everything. One that I replaced was this one. It's a 19-inch HHX Sabian. It's kind of got a brilliant finish, but it's also got a natural finish. That's the thing I love about the HHXs. They're dark. Now this isn't a drum set cymbal. This is a orchestral, you know, classic. I'm in band cymbal, which is what I grew up playing when I started playing drum set and pep band. Another cymbal that I worked on too. This one had a crack around the bell here, and that's kind of a weird spot to have it, but it was like a really weird fracture, so I took my Dremel and got that out. So it's got a little bit faster decay. It's a little trashier too than a normal AA, but it's still in good condition. I've had that one for a few years, and so to even it out, I drilled 3 holes in it. Wasn't too sure about that. I don't know how long this is going to last, but we'll see. It's an 18-inch medium thin. I'm going to play with it. It's one of my go-to versatile kind of things. And, you know, I'll have two setups here. Bought some marching cymbals. It was a bad idea. I thought, hey, I'm going to buy these cymbals. They're going to be dark and heavy, and I can set them up, play them on my kit. Not so. Now, these things are basically like sewer tops, whatever. They're really heavy, and they also have a rivet that prevent me from putting it on my cymbal stand without having to do some fabrication to the plastic on the cymbal stand. Kind of dumb. Didn't do my research, but I made a bid on it, and when you make a bid on reverb, you kind of have to go through it. So these are for sale. They're in great condition. They have a little discoloration because they've probably been sitting around a little bit. But they're AA marching bands. If you know anybody that wants them, there's two of them. They're great cymbals. Have some other ones over there that I don't really want to spend time talking about because I want to get back to the kit, what I'm playing right now, what's set up. We talked about my snares. We talked about the snares, strainers, and the on-off switch, and my rod and my hi-hat. One thing I need to mention, I've been playing the same single pearl eliminator pedal with a plate stand for about 20 years. I've been playing drums since about 99, 2000, and I think I bought this in 2001. So it's about 20 years. Here it is. Now, one thing I did do is change out the beater, and it's kind of got a little wear and tear to it. I don't know if I zoomed in on that right. You can see that. It's a DW beater. I like the plastic side. It gives that Metallica, that Lars Ulrich crunch and pennies kind of sound, plastic on plastic, which is actually, when you record it, a more cushiony sound. It's backwards, but it actually does that. Tonight, I received two cymbals, and again, I'll talk about those in a second. The cheap ones that I'm using to play in the garage so I don't ruin my good cymbals for if I play a concert. But this is the first time I've had a kit with more than two toms on it. This actually has four. It has a 10-inch tom, which I went with a drum head pack that is heavy, an Emperor Remo standard coated. And I'm not so sure about that for this 10-inch. I may have to do a little bit more playing and research into drum heads as far as what I'm using on that, because a thick head on a small drum, it doesn't have the resonance that it probably needs. It's okay, but I could probably do a little bit better. I've coated those with I've put all my heads in that format of the Emperor Remo. My top tom is a 10-inch, and it is on the mount. However, I've used the other mount for this really cool Meinl cowbell, because everybody needs a lot of cowbell. Also, tonight, I received some new seats or feet for my floor toms, because the ones that were on here, as you see in the plastic bag, they were really thin, rubber, like just little stops, almost like door stops. So my Pearl Vision, I really love those, but I have two floor toms, so I couldn't rob those for one floor tom. I needed to buy another set, and I figured why not leave that kit alone and buy two. So I bought two sets of these. I don't know if you can see these. These are more rounded, and they have grip on the bottom of them, and they have this open air, like cushiony thing, so it kind of like glides and like absorbs into the ground when you're playing, so it doesn't take away from the sound. But yeah, I've got a 16 and a 14-inch floor tom here. Like I said, it's the first time I've had this many drums, so it's all new to me. It's like I'm playing a new kit, because I am. The bass drum, it's a little bit different specs. It does have wood hoops, as you saw probably when I was talking about the pedal. I love that. It always provides a good sound and a better technique when tuning. But it's a 22 by 18 rather than, I think the Vision is a 22 by 20. It may even be a 22 by 22. Because I know my old black kit, my old black Pearl, is a 22 by 18, and it's quite a bit smaller, so I can tell that it's that. But like I said, I have the ones on the ground over here that I don't play when I'm just messing. Everything else can probably withstand because it's a really heavy rod, heavy hats. But those are some thin crashes, and sometimes I beat the tar out of them. So I went and bought some cheap mid-grade cymbals. And I'm not brand loyal, as you saw earlier with the Peisty mixed with the Sabian. I love Sabian, and I would prefer that, but I do like the Peisty splashes. I bought a Classics Minel. It is an 18-inch. This is a real mid-level cymbal, but it does not look like it. Now, I can't attest to the sound yet. I've ticked around on it, and it sounds pretty good. Everything I've read sounds like it's up there with like an AA or AAX on the Sabian brand's scheme, but it's way cheaper. So I think I saved some money there. And then, as I said again, not brand loyal, playing a Zildjian over here. It's a Zildjian S. It's a rock crash, so it's really heavy. It's got a lot of sustain. For this cymbal. And I thought it was going to be an 18 when I ordered it. It's a 20. So I guess that gives me a little bit because I like big cymbals. But yeah, I'm going to play those tomorrow, find out how they sound. Change my feet tonight. I'm getting there. I think I'm pretty much right in the field of dreams. In the home stretch. I'm not a sports guy, so these analogies are rough. I really would like to maybe look at getting a double pedal, doing some of that work, and honing in on my feet. I've had a pretty good, I'm not Sugarfoot by any means. I'm not that guy or, that good. Or I've got a little Bonham technique, but sometimes it's a little rusty. I don't know with this kit if it's the angle, because I have it on a tilt of the bass drum. Maybe I need to re-angle it, or the tuning, or just the response I'm getting from the resonant head because it's different depth than I'm used to. But I'm having a little issue with some of my slide technique, doubles techniques with a single pedal. So I'm thinking about doubling up here. But then again, right now I've got so much to play with, I don't know what to do with myself other than just to come out here and try different things, different setups and different techniques. So thanks for watching. I'm that dude, as Hugh Hefner on Rock and Roll. But tonight, figured I'd change it up, talk about music in a different way, give you my drum set specs. So peace, rock and roll, and subscribe, like, tell me if you'd like this, you want me to talk about drums, or would you rather hear about Ted Nugent and Mott the Hoople, or Kiss, or Van Halen again. You let me know, maybe with a comment down below, or just your views. If I get 20 views on this, I don't think I've ever got 20 views with Rock and Robe on any one of my videos. So just however you like it, subscribe, or just watch the hell out of it, and I'll know. But anyway, thanks, and have a good night.